All right. How's everybody doing this evening? I'm back here. I took a little break last week from doing a video. I'm working on an idea. I just couldn't get it together today. I'm working on an idea where where I'm in a different part of my arcade to do the show so that you guys can see kind of a different background. So that way every show isn't the same. I've got lots of stuff for backgrounds. I got lots of items in here, and I plan on using my laptop. I'm going to try that, but I've been pretty busy. Um, been been staying busy basically the whole time that we haven't been doing a show. Um, to the point that I'm kind of tired. I know it seems like I'm probably not really doing a lot, but I've been doing a lot. A lot has happened over the last even couple of weeks since we've had a show. Um, some stuff not great, some stuff great. Um, I'll talk a little bit about that here. I appreciate everybody being on. I just want to make sure everybody understand knows that I appreciate everybody being here on the video. I appreciate everybody being at the shows. I mean, every day almost I see new shows popping up. I got a message today from a vendor where someone new from Canada is come in and they're doing like, a show a month, some kind of card show a month in Pompano, and then they got another 6 shows, and then they're saying I guess they're coming in and doing some other kind of like everything shows. So it's like, so every day I feel like I'm being like shot at in a way by other events that I'm just sometimes it's kind of depressing. I'll be honest with you, because it's just I feel like I'm just trying my best to stay relevant here. And anyway, I know I am relevant, but I'm really always working to have the to to get the shows to keep them going and keep things as positive and wonderful. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit I'm a little bit beat from all of the stuff, and I'm going to get into that a little bit. I've got some changes, some show changes. I got some table updates for everybody as far as what's available, what's not. And I've got some other. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the Altamont space here in a minute, and all of that. Uh, I am supposed to go. I had planned on going up to Georgia because we don't have a show, and this won't happen again, guys. Because I'm done. I'm done thinking about what other people are doing. Okay. One of the best shows in the country, Xenia in Ohio, is this weekend. I mean, I could go to that and check it out, but I'm really behind on other things. Like I'm still wanting to get my magazine going, and then I got to order some stuff for the vendors, some merch and everything, and then I'm just managing different. Venues are contacting me about doing shows in their space and all of that. So we're gonna just focus on what we're doing. So I may or may not still go up there to Georgia, but I mean, I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, it's a great networking opportunity to see some people I haven't seen in a while from Alabama and different things like that. Some friends that I have up there, vendor friends. But at the same time, it's a long ride. Well, somewhat. It's just another couple a weekend that I haven't. So last weekend, in the last, I think we did have one weekend off where I went somewhere. I don't. It seems like I went to a show, and then I don't know if it's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks since we did the show. I guess it's only been a couple of weeks. Now that I look at it, it's the 25th. So if we had the show on the 8th, so it's been a couple of weeks. So but anyway, so this last weekend, I was in Michigan. You guys, an unplanned show, trip to Michigan. I did not plan on. I do not go to Michigan. I'm from Michigan. If you guys probably knew that or didn't know that, but I want to recognize some people on here. Hey, Ron, and Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on, Mike. Please tell your mom. We're thinking of her, and I'll talk about that. Hopefully, it's okay in a minute. And thanks, Mike, for the encouragement and all the people that really encourage me to keep going. And I mean, I'm very positive. I'm not depressed, but I mean, and you guys hear me talk about this on the show a lot, but I mean, it's like the Wild West out here almost. I feel like, in a way. But I mean, it's like I know I'm doing. I feel like I'm doing the best as best as I can do, and I feel like I'm doing as much as I can do as far as the promotion stuff that I can physically do. Now, should I try to do more? Should I get more help and all that? There's a balance of how much you're spending versus what time and effort versus what you get back, and so there's a balance, and I try to do that. Um, but it just seems like every other minute there's a new something, and so that gets to me sometimes. So again, I'm positive and everything. And hey, Mark, I think you drove up there up to Georgia today, or whatever. So hopefully you had a safe trip, and I appreciate you coming on here. Um, thanks there, Trent. I appreciate that. I try to make the show an experience for people, and all that. And thanks again, Ron. And I'll get your Labubu stuff on the flyer here soon. And that's okay. I'm gonna post that up later. I'll have that up later today. I usually wait until I have just Shamid. I'm sorry if I didn't say your name right, but what it is I usually wait until I'm full of vendors, which we are basically full now. And so I can post those tickets, but usually I wait until I sell out of all the vendor space, and then I post the tickets. That way, I'm not, if something happens, I'm not holding on to somebody's money or whatever. I don't like to do cancellations. Okay, so what I was supposed to, the reason why we didn't have a show this weekend, besides last weekend, was MegaCon. And I wasn't able to put that together. I should have probably just ran with it. Okay, ran with the screwed upness of the parking spaces and all that last weekend, but I didn't. So we moved on. And then this weekend, I could have probably had a show, put that together, but I just thought I was gonna have a booth. I signed up for a booth at this show, and they didn't even communicate with me. So they didn't give me an email saying F you or nothing. So that's okay though, because if you apply for my show, and I usually tell, if I don't want you there, I'm going to tell you that I don't want you there. But sometimes I will leave people just there because maybe I might want to put them in. But like, I'll give you an example. There are tons of card shows, Pokemon card shows right now, but I do still get a bunch of Pokemon vendor signups. Okay. And at some point, I don't want my whole show to be a card show. So I'll get 3 or 4 or whatever, and then that's it. I don't take anybody else. If somebody cancels, then I'll fill somebody in. But sometimes I leave people there because I may need to fill somebody in, and I don't get back to them right away. But I will get back to you. So you'll either be on a wait list because I don't have walls that you want, or I just have too much. Another example is 3D printing. So I have people now asking me if I have 3D printing openings. I will only allow like two vendors. That's it. And that's, sure. Could I fill the space with whatever? Yeah, I could, but that's not what I would want. That's not what I want. And yeah, I could make quick dollar, take everybody's money, and then, but I don't want to do that. And then people that are coming to the show are going to be discouraged. I'm trying to create a variety show. It's almost like I'm designing the show. I wish I had more options for vendors. I wish I had more vendors. and more, that's another reason why I do smaller events a little bit, because that way we can be a little bit more choosy on vendors. But uh, I don't just take people's money and just because they want a booth. Okay, that's not me. That's not me. I'd rather you be upfront with you and say, hey, look, I don't think you fit the show, or we got too much of one item, or whatever. So anyway, okay. Let me I want to talk about, and this is just, I don't have pictures of them. I don't have but I want to take a moment to recognize our really good vendor, Margaret Les, and our friend there, Mike Customs. So Margaret and her husband John have been coming to our shows literally from day one. Okay. So the first show I ran here in Lakeland in 2019, they were one of the vendors. Margaret came out, and Margaret's been great most of the time. Margaret comes out, John hasn't come out, but anyway, and then they've flipped around. Okay, Mike. So the people that run, Mark and Mike and John are the people that run mostly the Barbie. You'll see the Barbie booth with some Hot Wheels and stuff like that. Well, yesterday, and Margaret may not want me to say this, but I feel like I want to put it out there. So yesterday, Margaret's husband died, John, suddenly, and so that's pretty rough. So and this last weekend, I had a cousin of mine pass away too. So that's why I was in Michigan for the weekend. I was supporting my cousin's son who lost his mother, but in the meantime, I'm still working the shows because I'm out there and looking at other events. I went down to that retro thing. You guys probably didn't even know what that was, but I was trying to bring RetroCon, Super RetroCon to Michigan, my home state, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. I remember seeing the sign for this retro thing, and I was like, it's clothing, and it was clothing, but I mean, the line was nuts. So anyway, I just want to recognize Margaret and John, and really say sorry to their family. And Margaret had just basically signed up for like probably the next 6 or 7 shows. She does them in groups, so she did say that she's planning on being at the shows. So at the ones that she signed up for, they signed up for most of them. So they've been somebody that's been with me from the get-go. And John, he didn't say a lot to me, or about the show, so I never really knew, like, okay, does he think we're doing good? Is he making money? I do, you guys, if you're a vendor, you do know I usually go around to the vendors and find out how they're doing. And with him, I wasn't sure, but I would say in the last 6 months, he texted me about how they're doing, and that he appreciates me doing the shows, and that meant a lot to me, actually. And thanks, Mike. I appreciate you saying that, and we're gonna try to keep him that keep making things good for you. So sorry, I'm getting a little again, this is like 2 people in the last week. Really, I was there to support my cousin's son. My other cousin, his mom was sick for a long time, and I just felt like, hey, I'm gonna fly up there and support him. He's only 30 years old. I know that's not a kid, but he doesn't have any brothers and sisters. He's the only child, and he had a pretty rough childhood and stuff. And so I'm there trying to be there for him. All right, so it's been a whirlwind. I'm not gonna bore you too much with my travel issues, but on Sunday when I attempted to come back, I didn't really want to fly, guys. I don't really want to fly at all right now with everything going on. But Sunday night, my flight was delayed. Then they ended up all being all the way to Tampa and turning around, going back to Detroit. And so I was like, I ended up staying in a hotel for 3 hours, 4 hours, getting on a new flight, and man, it was I was dead on Monday. So nothing happened then. And so I'm just happy to be back in Florida, to be honest with you, and all that. But anyway, I will say I'm gonna move on to the schedules and all of that stuff in Altamont here in just a second. But I am gonna be a lot more aggressive, guys. You're gonna see shows. I'm gonna be trying some new things this fall, where we're gonna be doing like back to back, more what I call double weekends, which is a show in one area on one day and then a show in another area on another day. Now, some vendors might go, "Well, these places are too close." Well, I don't believe that. I think that our customers are really only wanting to drive. Nobody wants to drive. I mean, my wife isn't gonna like, but I kind of poke her because she doesn't want to go to the restaurant. I want to go to the restaurant. I don't want to cook. I don't want to get takeout every time. But no one wants to go anywhere. So the reality is that I think our customers mostly want to be, they don't want to drive more than 20, 25 miles, 20 miles to a show, not even that really. But unless it's like something spectacular that they think they're going to miss, they're not going to drive. Now, we have our regulars that will travel, okay? But in general, most people are local within a, let's say, 25-mile range of the show. That's what I believe. So because I believe that, I'm going to try different things this fall, where I'm going to do a little double, what I'm calling double weekends. What we would do is we would do a show in Kissimmee, and then we would go down to West Palm on Sunday. So Saturday would be Kissimmee and Sunday would be West Palm, and so that, what I would call double weekend. Okay, so we are just going to do that. Maybe we might do that a couple of shows. Okay, just because I'm going to fill some time. Vendors seem to want me to do more shows, and then customers. And again, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm covering things, because covering stuff as well as I can. And covering the need or want of doing stuff. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there. Now let me go ahead and talk a little bit about Altamont. I'm really excited about this show, guys. And this could be, this is getting, I'll be honest with you guys, this is getting me I'm a little scared of this show right now, because let me show you. So we're going to have Greg. First time, hopefully not the last time. I want to make sure that he has a great time at the show. Hopefully everybody buys a bunch of autographs from him, and because he's never been to our show. My hope is that he walks away and just wants to book with us at any other show. Okay, so this is his first time with us, and I'm hoping that we hoping that we can have him again. We'll probably have a video of him. Hopefully I'll have that before the show that I can play for you guys. And then on an upcoming event, video here. And anyway, and so I'm looking forward to having Greg there. And this room is not as big as our Avanti. Okay. But it's in a great location. It's free parking. There's plenty of parking. I believe there's plenty of parking. It's up by Altamont Mall, so there should be plenty of parking. Okay, let me go and show you guys the inside of this a little bit. It is about 7,300 square feet. If you've been to our Bradenton show, it is about the same size as the Bradenton room. Okay, we sold this out in so all vendor space is sold. I sold most of the space in like a day, in like 24 hours. Okay, so there are some people that from Avanti that would come and all that. And hey, Marco, I'm hopefully I'll see you this weekend. I'm still working out if I want to go, but anyway, or if I'm ready to go, really, when it comes down to. But this is the front now. I'm gonna just they didn't have all these air walls, opened up for us, but this shows you one of the spaces. So again, it's set up like basically Bradenton. Okay, so they don't have any tables in here. I just took pictures of the space so I would have it. Okay. So there it's about the size of Bradenton. It's going to be set up very similar to Bradenton. And we are going to be there now. Again, we're going to have Greg there. Now I will say that we have around 2,400 people that are interested in this. So this is where our new pricing kind of comes in. And so the tickets are going to be 15 9 to noon and 10 at noon to 4. Honestly, I think this is this could get a little nuts, so just be patient with us. It's our first time at this location. And so I want to come back there. It's a Hilton. I want to be able to come back there in the fall. So I am going to work with Avanti to try to come up with another date. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I am going to work on with them. So just because we aren't at Avant, I wanted to do a show before MegaCon again, and they just didn't have it. It's all booked. It's all booked again. Shows are coming out and they're booking this stuff, and which brings me up to my next thing. So I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the fall here, and I'm going to just say that we might not have a show in Lakeland. Okay, we may not have a show in Lakeland. I mean, that's really screwed up. Okay, I'm not real thrilled about it, but here's the reason why. You'll notice that I moved. I'll go ahead and make this bigger. You'll notice that I moved Fort Myers into where I had the Lakeland show. Now, the reason why I did that is because I was told that an anime show, it's a big building, guys, a big building, and we only use really one main room there. I've tried to make it bigger, and we don't get enough people to justify using 20,000 or 30,000 square feet there. So, if I was running one show a year there, or I'm sorry, one show a year period, then I'm sure I could, it would be good. But, the vendors that I have to make money, and we get new ones. And then, so if people don't make money, you're not going to see them again. So, or they might try it again or whatever. But the reality is that I have to run a show where vendors make money. They feel like it's worth their time to sign up again. That's the only way that I'm able to do what I'm doing. So I am very aggressive on trying to make sure that I set up the show that customers are wanting to come and vendors are wanting to vend. Okay, so that's what I do. So because of that, I am not thrilled. I was not thrilled about having an anime show across the hall from me. Okay, first of all, I know who runs the anime show. I don't want to deal with that person. Not gonna. I believe I know who it is, but it doesn't matter. I don't really want to have that on the same day. Now, the guy that sets up the dates and runs the dates and all that is super cool, but obviously he didn't recognize that maybe that's not a good show to put on my date. And it's money for them, so they don't care. I mean, really. I mean, they've got the space, they need to sell it, and that's what they're doing. So there is I'm working on, you'll also see, let me go and make again the schedule bigger. You'll also see that my June 7th, I have 3 different venues working that I'm going to have on that date, the June 7th. We are going to have a show on June 7th weekend. Okay. 100%. Yeah, it does, Jason. Jason, and but you know, I'll figure it out. I mean, this is just something that happened today. I was the one that pushed the date. Like I told him I don't want that date because you guys put an anime show there. I don't want to run the show when the anime show's there. And so what has happened now is there's now like like three anime shows and a card show, like three card shows or something like that. So there's like three card shows and an anime show that are taking up a bunch of the dates. Now, they have a lot of other stuff going on at that venue. So, you know, I mean, all these card shows, and there's at least like, I don't know, man, there's like 20 a weekend now. Okay. And they're just sucking up all the venues, all the weekends and all this stuff. Not the vendors, because there's an abundance of vendors in the card world, I think, but just all of the venues are being taken up. I mean, it's you know, anyway. I mean, I went through RP Funding's calendar today, and it's like there's three of the same thing, but yet I can't get a weekend where I don't have an anime or card show across from me. So I'm just gonna move on right now. I'm not moving on. I'm working on June 7th weekend is one of the dates that I have for Lakeland. I'm waiting for my the person there to get back to me. The other thing that I have been working on for a long time is Fort Lauderdale. Now, they're supposed to have, sorry guys, I'm moving all this around. Fort Lauderdale, they're supposed to have a some kind of craft show this weekend that they said, hey, come down and look at the craft show. You'll see how it runs and all that. And I thought, oh, that's a good idea. Then I look it up. Now, we are a ticketed event, and they wanted to charge some kind of fee for tickets or whatever. That show is free. So, of course, they can run. They don't have any tickets. They don't have any wristbands. They don't have any nothing. So, of course, they can run it there. Okay. So now I got to get in a conversation with the guy, you know, there. I mean, very cool people, man. Very cool people. But I just don't know if it's going to work. Okay. So, and then today I do have my wife's not going to be happy about this, but it is what it is. Today I had Jacksonville Bay Meadows reach out to me and ask if we were going to do shows there. I don't have another venue yet up there. Just like I don't have another venue for the Star Wars show. So I'm going to bring it back to the Goldenrod on August 2nd. But you know, I don't have another Jacksonville, you know, downtown type venue yet. So I'm going to go ahead and probably rebook the 27th of September. That would be the fall date for sure. But if I can't make either of those other two dates work with the Fort Lauderdale or Lakeland, then we may end up having a Jacksonville show the week before Ocala. So I mean, these are the things that when you don't see the posts, when you don't see the posts of me doing posts, or you don't see me doing anything, these are the things that I'm working on all the time. I am working on getting more dates. I'm working on getting more vendors. I am working on approvals and all of that stuff. And managing this list is, when I say this list, I'm managing all of these it's can be a little it can be a little overwhelming sometimes, but that's okay. I'm happy to do it. All right. I love what I do. So don't get it twisted. I'm very happy with what I'm doing. I just, like William says here, the card shows are getting out of hand. I mean, it's nuts. It really is. It makes Funko look like a joke. Okay, I mean, there's at least 20 every weekend. I mean, it's nuts now. I don't know if you're a card show promoter. I don't envy you, because I mean, it's just like, I'm on. You might be happy right now, but things are going to change at some point. And I don't know. All right, so let me. I got my little list here. I know I don't have a lot of content necessarily to give you, but I mean I've got a list here, so there's some, right? But yeah, there's 6 just in Orlando this week. Oh my God! Wow, that's nuts. That's nuts. Okay, let me. um. All right, so I showed you Altamont. Talked about Greg. Okay, now I do want to talk a little bit about guests. Now I can probably get a guest for Tampa. I would like to get a guest. My friend that's helping me. I'm trying to decide if I want to mention who it is, but don't. If I'm not going to mention it this time, just don't take that the wrong way, friend. Just I don't want to share my secrets. Okay. Anyway, I can get a guess. I think for Tampa, but I'm starting to worry about flights and the overall experience of getting them here. Okay, I may hold on that. Just because I know we have Eddie Deason that's coming. He's going to be driving in. His manager person is going to be driving him into St. Augustine. So we are going to have him and at the St. Augustine show. I really would like to get maybe a guest or two for Tampa but I've dragged now, so I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll see. I'm a little bit hesitant to do it because the flights are going to be stupid money now with the gas prices, and then the other thing too is just the lines and everything. I don't know if somebody wants to deal with that, but maybe. I don't know. I know I don't want to really fly myself just because I've already had really a crappy experience. Okay. Okay, hold on a second. Yes, Diana, that would be on the 13th. So that is correct. Whatever, that's a typo. A lot of times I'm putting these things together and I'm trying to whip them up for either this show or whip them up for something to post them, and I make a typo. Okay. Let's see. A lot of the Pokemon vendors are just freelancers with cases. Okay. Yep. And dude, these guys with just cases have the most boring tables ever. Looking at an 8-foot table with 2 cases. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, all I know is that we're not a card show. Okay. And I do have a couple people that are in limbo right now. We do have several Pokemon vendors for Tampa. I don't remember what we have for Altamont because I had a rush of super vendors that wanted in on that show. So it's going to be mostly super vendors there. And anyway, so I just wanted to say that I may or may not have a guest for Tampa, the 2-day Tampa. Usually don't have a guest, but we will be having a bunch of guests for Tampa Toy Con, which I'm going to post that show in the next day or two and try to get it out, even if I go somewhere. If not, it would be posted on Monday, but I'm ready to. I got to get that in the motion of promotion because I do want to get vendors from out of state to come to that, and we're gonna have I'm working on several guests for that, so we'll probably have at least 5. I would say I think that's what we had last year, and then we're working on getting some toy companies to come, some independent toy companies to come down, and then we're going to have the Batmobile, 66 Batmobile on display, along with a bunch of my Batman stuff that I have to bring out. That's Tampa Toy Con in July. That's the big show. I would say it's the biggest toy show in the South. I mean, that's just my opinion. As far as space, maybe not. I'm not trying to be MegaCon. I don't want that show. I'm not interested in that type of large event. I like what we have. So, okay, let me go ahead and talk a little bit about for those of you that might be vendors on here that might be interested in, um, yeah, I'm working on a bunch of, I have a couple that are signed basically, Jason, but I'm gonna work on, I'm working on other ones. So I'm, I've got several going. And then so let me just talk a little bit about what's available, what's not. And again, Altamont is sold out. Tampa, I have a couple aisles left. That's it. Okay, I just have some aisles left, and I only have a handful probably. I have plenty of space right now at the at the World Golf Village. Um, the only thing I will mention about the World Golf Village is that there's a golf tournament during the week, and they bought out the hotel for the whole week, including Friday night. So if you're coming up from somewhere else, you'll have to stay somewhere else. You can't stay at the hotel, which a lot of people probably wouldn't stay at the hotel anyway because it's a little bit more expensive. I stayed there, but otherwise it is nice. But I do have plenty of room still. I'm out of walls. I'm out of walls at the St. Augustine show. Okay. And then Port St. Lucie, I think I've got a couple walls left in the second room, and then I've got I've got other tables like corners and aisles there. So I still got some stuff there. The Kissimmee show, which I need to change this from being the Star Wars, but this Kissimmee, our spring Kissimmee show, we're going to have that in the larger space. People have been saying, "Hey Jeff, can you let's do it in the larger room." It's the 25,000 square foot room. I'm not going to fill that room. Not that I can't fill it with vendors, but I don't want to. Okay, so it is going to be partially piped and draped. So I am basically, I think I have 10 by 10 walls left. I believe that's it. And then everything else is gone. Mike Smith is signed up, and I think that is May 23rd. I don't think William is signed up. I think he Mandalorian movie. Okay, cool. All right. And so I still have plenty of corners and aisles for that. Okay. Right now, normally I would not have anything left. I'd already be full, but I actually have plenty of space there because it is a bigger space. We will be going back to the smaller room on October 3rd at the Kissimmee at Osceola Heritage Park. We're going to be going back to our smaller room just because I like that. That's the show I like. The bigger room is great, but the problem is that if it, vendors will think that there's nobody there if we don't get a ton of people. And just I know roughly how many people usually come to Kissimmee, so everyone will have lots of space in Kissimmee this time. I think I've got 6 foot behind your table, so everyone's going to have at least like an 8x6 or 8x8 space there. I'm going to be announcing what we're doing this weekend, the June 7th here ASAP. Ocala, I'm basically out of walls, and I'm down to like about 5 tables in Ocala. So if you're wanting to have a show, if you wanted to have a table in Ocala, please sign up right away. And then Tallahassee, I have plenty of space there right now. I got to get working on getting some vendors for that. What's great about this show is I did make it one day because we've never been there. It is on a Saturday, okay, but the spaces are like 8 by 10, I think, and they're only like $85. So just because the space is a great deal, and I'm passing that great deal on to you guys. Then after that we're in at the Tampa Toy Con. We have a break there over the 4th of July and Tampa Toy Con, which I'll be putting out there, up in the next few days for sure. Coral Springs. I haven't checked the map really on that because I just changed it to one day. That is the uh, that's more the venue kind of screwed up. When I say they screwed up, they just, the salesperson's kind of slow in getting back to me, and I had sent them a change of, hey, I want 2 days. They just assumed that I wanted one day, and I did contract for one day, but I wanted to make it 2 days, and it took them a while to get back to me. By then, someone had booked Saturday morning, so I I'm stuck with one day there. Fort Myers will be back in the space I think we had in January. This is the first time we'll be doing it in July. I've been wanting to do it in July, but so right now I've got plenty of space there. And then I'm bringing back the Star Wars GI Joe show in August. We'll see how it goes, but basically it's the same show that we've had. And then the fall, I'm still working on our figuring out Lakeland, and I don't have a confirmation for Bradenton, even if it was the 14th. But I don't have a confirmation there yet. I'm working on it. And then the same thing with Jacksonville. Some of these other ones I do have, like October 3rd, set in stone. Altamont, I believe, I've talked to them. This is one of those double weekends that I'm talking about. And then I may try to do another Coral Springs here, because the people in Coral Springs love our show, and I love the space. So we might try to do a third Coral Springs in the fall. South Florida is a great market for us, and it's a growing market down there for us. And so let's see. And then I'm trying to think if I've covered everything, guys. Just make sure I've covered everything. Yeah, so I think I've covered everything. Again, want to give my condolences to Margaret and her son. And it's tough. Lost my mom about 9 years ago now, and I'll tell you that I wouldn't be doing these shows if that didn't happen. I mean, it's because of nostalgia and wanting to recreate a feeling that you had as a kid that got me into doing these shows. So I never thought I would do toy shows. I did car shows, and I did some other stuff, and it's because I was building a bicycle one time, and I was buying parts, and I had to sell some old toys to buy parts and all this stuff. And I said, hey, I'd love to do a toy show. I bought some GI Joe stuff, and I bought some stuff, and I'm like, you know what, this would be cool to have a show. And then when we did it. And then, when COVID happened, we just ran with it. And unfortunately, like the other vendor that really got me to be like every month is not with us anymore. He, we kind of had a falling out, just didn't agree on tables, on credits or whatever. And some people, they just, anyway, that's just what happens. You have disagreements. So anyway, so sometimes, good things happen. When bad things happen, sometimes it happens for a reason. So we're going to stay positive, and I'm looking forward to being back to the shows in like 2.5 weeks, I think it is. And so you may see me. I'm going to try to put out a video. I made a video with my camera. I think I made a video of that retro thing. I might put that. I got to come up with my own personal page, guys, so I can show my travels, and I'm gonna probably do some kind of like museum type videos where I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that I have just from a history or historical stuff. So no, I agree with you there. I'm suffering toy show. I can't wait to get back to it. I'm telling you, we just need to do it. I don't even know. Like, it's like sometimes even only 1 week from the show, I'm going, wait a minute. What do you mean I don't have a show? So it's something that I like doing. So we'll be back soon. All right. So next week, I will be back with a video. I'll come up with some stuff. I'm going to hopefully have my different background. I'm going to try to have that set up. I am going to eventually get a dang microphone, so maybe you can hear me better and see me better. But right now, I'm fine with doing the way that I'm doing it. So anyway, we'll see you next Tuesday, 7:30, or Wednesday, but probably Tuesday. And thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you being here, and thank you for coming out to the events and eventing. Have a great night, guys. We'll talk to you soon.